my channel. I'm Kimberly and this is Tickled Pink Events. If you're new, welcome. I'm happy to have you joining us. And if you've been here before, welcome back. I'm glad that you came to kick it with me again. Now, according to every email I've received in the last 3 months and commercial on TV, now more than ever in these unprecedented times, we need cocktails! Woohoo! Yes, it has been a spring, right? 2020 has had zero chill, and I know I'm on day 62 of a stay-at-home order, so there has been a lot of time at home and a lot of cocktails. And coincidentally enough, during this time they're showing the resurgence of cocktail hour. People are now starting to do actual cocktail hours because their bars are closed, the restaurants are closed, so now people are taking up that art that was so popular in the 50s and 60s of having cocktail hour at home. Now, some nights I totally feel up for doing it up and making fancy craft cocktails with all the bitters and ingredients and the whole 9 yards. And then some nights I just want a drink. I want something, but I don't want to do all the shaking and the mixing and the stuff. And I don't necessarily always have a ton of ingredients on hand because getting to the store as frequently as I used to just hasn't been a possibility recently. So in that vein, I've been drinking a lot of really easy couple of ingredient cocktails. And that was what I was originally going to do this video on. Still am, but with a twist. So in my quest to give you guys quick and easy cocktails that you can make at home with minimal ingredients, I kind of went down the internet rabbit hole and learned some new facts and learned about a cocktail I had heard about a lot over the years of drinking, but never tried and never really knew what it was. And then I found out and I was like, holy crap, this will be great for my cocktail video on simple cocktails, and it has a kind of an interesting history. So what is this cocktail I'm talking about? I'm talking about a Gin Rickey. Now, I always have heard of Gin Rickeys, kind of in the old school movies, and it was actually mentioned in The Great Gatsby. So it was in that book, and I'd heard of it then. So I thought it was really sophisticated and served in a coupe and shaken and all this fresh citrus, and had this grandiose idea of what a Gin Rickey is. Turns out a Gin Rickey originated from a Joe Rickey, and Joe Rickey was invented by a man named Colonel Joe Rickey in 1883 at the Shoemaker Resort in Washington, D.C., or right outside Washington, D.C. area. This guy, Joe Rickey, he was big around Washington, heavy in politics. He used to come in, and legend has it, this drink was invented on a Monday morning because he came in and told the bartender to make his usual drink, which he called the morning's morning. So this is how he started his day. And what the morning's morning had was a lump of ice, whiskey or bourbon for him, and topped with seltzer water. So this particular Monday, the bartender decided to change it up a little bit and squeeze the juice of half a lime in it. And it was a hit. Joe loved it. Everybody else started to drink it, so it became known as the Joe Rickey. So people were super excited about the Joe Rickey, and that's how it got its start. Now, about 7 to 8 years later, the 1890s kick off, and the Gin Rickey takes over in popularity. Now, the Gin Rickey is all the rage, and really all a Gin Rickey is the Joe Rickey, but you guessed it, with gin. So it's a super simple cocktail. It's gin, juice of half a lime, and seltzer water. But then there's a lot of other Rickeys that I had no idea. So if you want to try, say, a Sheena Rickey, that's a Gin Rickey without the peel, the body of the lime dumped in. There's also a Johnny Rickey, which is made with dark rum, seltzer, and lime. There's also a mojito. Mojitos are also in the Rickey family, but that's got, as you know, mint and sugar and all of that. So there's a wide variety of Rickeys. So anytime someone's having a Rickey, just know they're having spirits, lime juice, and some sort of seltzer water, whatever variation you want to talk about or call it. What led me to the Rickey, sorry, I got a little tongue-tied, is highballs. I've been drinking a lot of highballs. I love highballs. They're super easy to make, they're refreshing, and they're pretty low calorie depending on how you make it. But a highball, what I knew it to be before I went down the internet rabbit hole and did some research, was bourbon, 2-to-1 bourbon to soda water. So you put 1 part bourbon and the rest soda water over ice, you're done. But highballs, turns out, are any spirit with a carbonated beverage, but the ratio is always 2 to 1. So a 7 and 7 can be a highball. That's Seagram 7 and 7 Up. You can have a vodka soda, still a highball. You can have a rum and coke highball. Now that's different than a Cuba Libre because a Cuba Libre has lime. So a highball is literally any spirit mixed 2 to 1 with seltzer water, sparkling water of your choice. The good thing about Rickeys that I love for summertime is they don't have any sugar. That's the key for a Rickey. There's lime juice, no sugar. Mojitos are in the family, but they're not a true Rickey. And the great thing about that is we're all working on our summer bodies, whether it be sitting in our backyards, me on my balcony in club quarantine, or however we're spending the summer. We all kind of want to watch, our waistline. So if you want something refreshing, easy, and low calorie, I highly suggest a Rickey. So now that I've done all of that history talking and letting you know the history of the two drinks, I'm gonna make both because it's quarantine and why not have 2 cocktails? So let's get started. First, I'm gonna start off with the Rickey. And like I said, it is juice of half a lime. So you're gonna take it and I'm just gonna juice it right on in to the glass, because also you dump the whole half a lime in the glass with the cocktail, because if you don't, that's a sheeny Rickey, the one I was telling you about as a variation. So now we've got that in there, drop it in. Now I'm going to do 2 ounces of gin. I got my gin. Flip this over. 2 ounces of gin. There you go. And then I'm going to top that off. Now my favorite bubbly water is Topo Chico. It's got really good fizz, great flavor, super refreshing. I mentioned it in my favorites video, so check it out. So we're going to top it off. And that's it. That's a Gin Rickey. Next time you're doing cocktail hour and you want to feel a little sophisticated and like, I'll have a Gin Rickey, please. You're having this. I'm going to give it a stir just to make sure everything gets incorporated. And then I'm going to add one of my favorite little straws, and there we go, a Gin Rickey. Really good, really refreshing. This will be perfect on a hot summer day if you're working in the yard, hanging by the pool. Love it. Now we're gonna do a highball. I'm a bourbon girl, love bourbon, so this one is my go-to on the nights where I just can't even, but I want a cocktail. I'm making a highball. Same twist on the Rickey, just without the lime. We're gonna do 2 ounces of bourbon. I love that glug, 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 glug. It's just a great sound of happiness. Okay, we've got our 2 ounces, and then we're going to top it with some more Topo Chico. Now you can also do, let's see, it's almost bubbled over. Now you can also do another highball variation that my friend Sonia told me about. It's called ranch water, and it's Topo Chico and vodka and a little bit of ice, and that's really good. So I'm going to just give it a stir. Put a little more Topo Chico in there, and then add my straw, and I have a highball. See, in less than 5 minutes, I've got 2 really good cocktails, 1 gin, 1 whiskey. If you're having people over, socially distanced of course, you can make 1 of each, or whatever anybody wants. And you don't have to have a lot of fancy ingredients in your house. Everyone now has some sort of bubbly water, and you've got a spirit, you got a highball or a Rickey, depending if you add the lime. So thanks everybody. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're staying healthy. And you know what? Cheers!